before the first date, you said that you guys had conversations. It was one of those boring conversations that a lot of the women that I help as a dating coach, they like block people out with those conversations though. How are you? How's your day? Kind of questions.
Right.
What made you keep going, Tonya, with Quinn, even though he was one of the guys with the boring conversations?
Right. Maybe because I am older. I'm 52, Queen's 56, and I've gone through some things. So sometimes the boring does not necessarily mean that's not the person for me. Saw stability. I saw someone who cared by asking how
Okay.
you doing. I saw somebody who was genuinely concerned about how I was.
Quinn, you obviously can hold a conversation. What made you just ask the one-liners? Like, what was your mindset behind the one-liners in the beginning? Just for women who are like, why does he just keep saying, how are you every day? Tonya and Quinn matched on Tinder in April, but neither of them sent a message until 2 months later when Quinn finally reached out. His friend Steve encouraged him to message the match that has been sitting untouched in the dating app. So Quinn started sending Tonya simple one-line texts every day, like, how are you doing? How is the weather? Most women would have blocked him for being so dry, but Tonya didn't. She appreciated the consistency. To her, those messages meant stability and that he genuinely cared. When Steve found out that Quinn was only texting her, he pushed him again, this time to actually talk to her on the phone. 5 months after matching, Tonya and Quinn finally exchanged phone numbers in September, even though they matched in April. And today, they've been happily married for 4 beautiful years. I'm Dee Dee Patterson, and on this channel, I share real stories of couples who found lasting love online because I want you to believe in love again and see that dating apps really can lead to a beautiful marriage. After all, I met my husband of 15 years on a dating app too. Quinn and Tonya's story is proof that even a slow start, even months of dry text, can lead you to the love of your life. Let's dive in. All right, so we have another couple. We have Quinn and Tonya Cunningham with us.
Oh.
Well, all right, so we're just going to get started with the first question. What do you both do for a living? Who wants to go first?
Okay. Ladies first. Ladies first. Thank you, dear. I am a teacher. I've been teaching for 30 years. So I'm
Wow.
actually in the retired phase. I'm a working retiree. So what I do
Okay.
with children is I'm an interventionist and I serve kids who have a possible learning disability. I work with those kids to try to get them back on grade level. And I also work part-time for the University of South Carolina, where I help juniors and seniors who want to be teachers.
Good. Wow, that's
Yeah.
great.
I work for the Department of Mental Health, formerly DDSN, Disabilities and Special Needs, and I work part-time for a company called Savita in a CTH training home, which is community training home, where we try to motivate and get guys to go live in the community on their own. And I've been doing both, 20 years both.
Wow. Okay, great. You guys are kind of in similar fields.
Right, right. Yes, we deal with a lot throughout the day, but it's rewarding to see when
Okay.
children can learn to read. And Quinn is very close with his clients and helps them a lot.
Special needs, you can't help the way you were born, and sometimes the staff, which is us, is the only family that they have. But you have to have the compassion to do both the jobs that both of us do.
Right.
If you're there for a
Nice.
paycheck, you're there for the wrong reason.
Right.
Good. Yeah, that's really good. How long have you guys been married?
The 21st of this month will be 4 years.
Year 4.
4 years. Okay, so you're about to go on your 4 years. Great. And
Yeah.
then what dating site did you meet on?
This is a funny story. We actually met on Tinder, as everyone thinks it's like a hookup website, but it really was not for us. We were looking for companionship, stability. I actually went on the site as a dare from a friend because I was newly divorced, and she's like, "Oh, you need to get out there, Tonya. You need to get out there." And Quinn was on the site, so that's where we met, and It wasn't. We weren't looking for hookups. We were looking for long term.
Yeah, we were both looking for long term.
Yeah.
And when we first hooked up, I actually asked her, "Do you think you'll ever get married again?" And she immediately said,
No.
She said no.
"No."
Okay.
I did. Like I said, I was divorced and I kind of had decided that I was not going to do that again. That I was just going to date and have like a serious companion. But Quinn changed my mind.
Good. On Tinder, so you both swipe right on each other. Did you send a message to Tonya after you swipe right?
No, not immediately. It took me a long time.
A long time. A long time. He was shy. Is what he says.
Yes.
So how long did it take? How long is a long time?
We met on Tinder in April, I believe it was, and I think we communicated
That's longer.
in June.
Yeah.
And I finally asked for her number in September.
He was slow. He was slow.
I see. So,
And went on the first date in October.
Yeah.
oh wow. So in April, you swipe right. Did you swipe right on Quinn in April too? You both swipe right
Yes.
on each other in April?
Yes.
But like, so your match just sat there in the
Yep.
dating app?
Yes, it
Okay.
did. Yeah, it
It
sat
just sat
there.
there. Tonya, you didn't send a message either. So
I said I take accountability for being slow too. Again, I was just kind of, scared, I guess. And Quinn had been through some things. I was divorced and Quinn was out of several different friendships or situationships, whatever you want to call it, where he was having a hard time to trust as well. So we just didn't, I guess we were kind of afraid that this again was going to be another situation that was going to fail.
okay, good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's good. Your honesty of where you were
Yeah.
at that time. So what made you finally send a message, Quinn, in June, 2 months later? What made you finally send a message?
The friend of mine that actually put me on to Tinder had asked me what was going on with us, and I said nothing. I haven't heard from her. And he said, "Man, if this is you need to go ahead and reach out." So I did.
Yeah,
At the prompting
Okay,
of my
good.
friend.
Yeah, a friend who's single,
Good.
who's
I'm glad
50
someone
some years
did.
old and single. Yeah, his friend's never married. He's like 50, so like reach out to her, man. But when he reached out, he would ask like just kind of like question like, "How are you today? How are you doing today? Oh, it's hot outside." I was like, oh, he's a little boring, but he eventually got his nerve up to be a little bit interesting.
So what was the first message? Was the first message, how are you? Or did he say anything else? Nope, that really was the
No.
first message.
Yes, that's literally was the first. How are you? How's the temperature? It's hot. I said, yeah. He said, I like the air on. Me too. It was like two elementary kids talking.
Aw. So
Yeah.
how did it get deeper? How did the conversation get better?
When he actually called me, I think, on the telephone.
We started talking. That
Yeah.
was in September, and I asked her to go out, and we set a date for the next month for October, and went to see The Magnificent Seven with Denzel. That was our first movie that we saw.
Right.
We held hands, but I knew when I saw her. I knew on Tinder that I knew what I wanted on Tinder, and it was her.
Nice.
But I
Okay.
didn't know if it was going to be reciprocated or not.
So I guess what Tonya said earlier, you both were just afraid that it wouldn't work. And so that
Right.
caused lack of action, was just that
Right.
fear.
Right.
Okay.
We definitely were interested, but I think we were both afraid to kind of just step out there and like, who's gonna be the first one to really, make the first move. But we eventually got over. When he asked me, I was like, sure. So Quinn doesn't have kids. I have two kids, they're twins. So I had a babysitter that night. I ran to the movies to meet him. Like, I
Good.
gotta be back because I'm paying a babysitter. He's like, Tonya, I don't care if we're just here an hour. I just want to be with you. That's what he said. I said, we may have
Nice.
to leave the movie early. He was like, I don't care. I don't care. And while we were at the movie, he was already setting our second date.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, couple more questions. So, when you first started talking to her, is that how you knew, yep, this feels right when you were just talking to her?
I knew when I saw her picture profile on Tinder that it was genuine. When I looked into her eyes, I just saw realness. I didn't see games. I didn't see a user. I didn't see any of that. And I didn't know her backstory about her her previous marriage. I knew nothing about that until later. But I just knew that she looked like a nice person, and I just fell in love with the picture. And this was before we even met, before we even spoke.
Okay, so on Tinder, what stood out about her was you just looking at her pictures, and you said her eyes, she looked like a really good person. Is that what stood out about her on
Yeah,
Tinder?
that stood out. I'm a Pisces. I can read people pretty good. I didn't
Mhm.
see any of that in her at all. And again, I didn't know
Okay.
her backstory. I didn't know what type of woman she was. I
Okay.
felt confident and to take a chance.
And Tinder doesn't really have like big long bios. Was there much there with the bio? Because I think it's
No,
mostly just
she didn't
yeah.
put a lot out. Her
No.
name. Don't
I
remember
put
she mentioned she had
Yeah, I
kids. I
put
think.
single parent. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
single
did put
parent.
that.
Okay.
He saw the first picture. He didn't know he could swipe to see my other pictures, and he said he regrets it because he wanted to see all the pictures. I had one, just a facial picture. But when I said you could have seen the other picture, oh man, I wish I would have looked at all of them because I saw all his pictures.
Okay. Okay. So you just seeing her picture, you knew that that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
You just were afraid to actually send a message for 2 months. What stood out about Quinn?
Right, pretty much the same thing. He looked like a gentle giant. I was always
Okay.
attracted to big guys, but it was something about him where he seemed like he was just calm and gentle. He was a Mason, so I said, he has to have some sort of, integrity and manhood because he had his Mason uniform on one picture. So he just looked like he was kind and gentle, not rough or any way. And I said, kind of interesting. So I saw that in him as well.
Before the first date, you said that you guys had conversations. It was one of those boring conversations that a lot of the women that I help as a dating coach, they like block people out with those conversations though. How are you? How's your day? Kind of questions.
Right.
What made you keep going, Tonya, with Quinn, even though he was one of the guys with the boring conversations?
Right. Maybe because I am older. I'm 52, Queen's 56, and I've gone through some things. So sometimes the boring does not necessarily mean that's not the person for me. Saw stability. I saw someone who cared by asking how
Okay.
you doing. I saw somebody who was genuinely concerned about how I was. So even though they were
Mhm.
one-liners like how you, at least he had enough compassion to check in and ask how
Okay.
my day was. So I didn't really, even though it was quote unquote boring, I don't think women should discount that because that could also be a sign of stability and caring and looking at the person's heart for actually checking in.
Good. Quinn, you obviously can hold a conversation. What made you just ask the one-liners? Like what was your mindset behind the one-liners in the beginning? Just for women who are like, why does he just keep saying how are you every day? What was your mindset behind that?
Again, just the mama's boy in me, just the caring, the compassion, just the generally being concerned about how she's doing. The women in my past were a different caliber of women. They only looked at
Mm-hmm.
me as I don't, what can I say,
Yeah.
a cash card because before we got married, I didn't have any children. I've never been married. I was living at home. My mother at the time had dementia. We were living together. I had 2 full-time jobs. So women saw me as a good catch. And a lot of them tried to use me for that. But I didn't see that in Tonya. I didn't see any of that in Tonya. And actually, when we first went out on our first date, she pulled her wallet out like she was getting ready to pay.
I was used to that.
And I said, no, you'll never pay with me. You're in a different world now. I don't know what
Okay,
was
good.
before, but
Right.
things are different now.
Good. Okay.
Good.
You guys said that you didn't have deeper conversations into the phone call. Like, how long did you guys chat before you actually got on a phone call?
From April
April
to
to September.
September. Yeah.
April to September.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were you were
And they was
chatting
far in between conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
between April and September. You did not get on the phone
Right.
No, no.
until
Yep.
September.
Right.
September the 16th. I was sitting home on the Panther game.
Yeah.
Go Niners.
That was months of just texting or just chatting.
Right.
Interesting.
But we both were fearful, I think. That's what really,
Yeah.
when we talk deeper about it later, both we just kind of like, this just another person that, may not really want long term, even though he's compassionate. I don't really know. So both of us were kind of scared.
And she couldn't find me. She
Yeah,
investigated.
I'm an investigator.
She didn't know if I was a real person or
Right.
not.
Right. That's what I did because I have kids. I have to be very careful, you know, in the dating world, very careful. And I definitely, that's one of the questions that I will advise anybody. Always do your research. So when he told me his name was Quinn, I was on Google. I was on the county website. I went to sex offenders and I could not find anyone named Quinn Cunningham. So
Okay.
when he called me, it came up Arla. I said, "What's your real name?" He said, "Orlando." I said, "Oh, shoot." So I started typing. So while we're talking, I'm like, still investigate. I'm on Richland County. I'm like, okay, he does have a traffic ticket, but I didn't see anything like sex offender. I didn't see anything. So I did a thorough investigation because no one was going to be around my kids that was, you know, not stable. And he respected me later when I told him the story about that. So I couldn't find him, so I didn't really know if he was a real person.
I am definitely an advocate of doing your research. So I did something similar when I met my husband, and he gave me a name that wasn't his name, and then he gave me his real name. I was like, "What's your name?" And then he told me his real name, and I found him. So
Right.
I'm with I understand.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so that whole time from April to September, you're just doing those one-liner texts, or did it ever get deeper on text? It was just those one-liners.
No, it didn't. It didn't get any deeper, I guess, until the verbal conversations.
September.
Okay. Why didn't you get deeper on text, Quinn? Why
Well, we
didn't you
didn't even
actually?
have phone numbers. We were messaging on Tinder.
This
We
was
didn't even
on
have
Tinder.
phone numbers. Yes. It was still on Tinder.
Okay, but you still didn't ask deeper questions.
No, I didn't
On
ask deeper
no.
questions. I'm shy. I'm a very shy person.
Okay, that's a good explanation. Just for women who are watching and they're like, "Oh, he's just giving me one-liners." But like Tanya said, it could just mean he's a stable person.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what made you finally get on the phone in September?
But when my friend said, "You
His
need to go
friend.
ahead and put it in gear, man," so I finally asked for her number.
His friend who's single, never married, no kids. His friend who's giving advice about dating, really, but
Yeah. Thanks, man.
thanks, Steve.
Yeah, Tanya, did you thank the guy? You thanked him for
I
getting
did,
him?
Constantly,
yeah.
all
We
the
still do.
time.
We still
Yeah.
do, yeah.
5-year friendship.
Right.
Yeah, we're very tight. I would love
Right.
to see him with someone, but
Yeah,
he
he's
has
not
to.
ready.
He
He's
has
not
to want
ready.
to be there.
Yeah. Dates online, but he's just not ready to settle down. You know those type, I'm sure. But when we did
Right.
finally talk, I think I called him. He was actually at an NFL game. He's with 49ers all the way. But
Okay.
he actually answered the phone
During the
during a game. So I went to work the next day. I'm like, this guy I'm, seeing or whatever, trying to date, he answered the phone during the NFL game. So another guy at work said, "Look, Tonya, do you realize how serious an NFL game is for a true fan?" I said, "No, not really, because I don't even like football." So he was like, "If he answered for you, he really likes you, because no man answers the phone for a girl during the NFL game." So I was like, "Maybe you're right." So then we took it from there.
Good. Okay. So did Quinn give you his number and that's why Tanya you called? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He
So
did.
he said, "Here's my number," and then okay.
Yeah. So who
And
had
then
who number first? We got to figure that out. Who had who number first?
I think I
You
asked
asked me, yeah. He asked for mine, but I had
I
his. So
think I
then,
might have sent mine with it.
yeah,
I think maybe.
yeah.
okay. Okay. And then you answered the phone during an NFL game. Was that true because you really liked her and that's why you answered the phone during in the middle of a game?
Yes, that was the first time yes, I was waiting months for this call. Yeah, I was gonna answer that phone. I was so happy. I couldn't wait to get back home to Columbia to pick up the conversation not around
Right.
80,000 fans.
Yeah.
So
He called me
got home
that
pretty
night.
fast.
Yeah, he called me that night.
Because it was you couldn't talk because it was so loud, I guess. So
Yeah,
it was like a
Right.
short conversation.
yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you said, "I'll talk to you later." Is that what
Yes, it was
happened?
like I'm gonna call you when I get back home tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
All right.
did.
Then
He did.
okay. How did that conversation go? The one outside of the game.
It was pretty good. It was our first verbal hearing each other talk. So that was
Right.
good to hear a voice coming from a pretty face. And she just said all the right things. Yeah, I asked her would she like to go on a date, and we set up a date for the following month in October. And by the end of the month, she had all my information, social security number, banking information, because I knew she wasn't going nowhere. And I wasn't. Here we are, 9 years later.
Did you really give her your social security number and all that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like an exaggeration. You really did give her all that
Yes,
information.
it was real. I researched it. Yeah, yeah, he
Okay.
really did. I'm like, this guy is crazy. He gave me his house key. He said, "Look, I'm letting
Not
you
about any
know.
games.
Yeah, nothing to hide. I
Nothing.
want to be with
My
you.
life
I
is
trust you."
open.
He did. He told me everything. Like, so that was like anybody who is dating, go ahead and say everything up front because you don't want to get involved with someone, and you know it's a non-negotiable down the road. Like, do you go to church? We checked all those boxes. Let's talk about your past. And you know, we were very honest about we both had deep hurts in our previous relationships from the past. So we knew that was something we would have to deal with in counseling, which we do and still do. We
Okay.
talked about finances, which was also very important. Because I'm raising 2 kids, quote unquote, by myself. We're like a package deal. All of those conversations we had up front, but before I think we, you know, realized we're gonna fall deeply in love. But yeah, I knew his balance. He would give me his debit card. We like, yeah, no problem. He trusted me. I'm like, I'm never gonna take more than $20 out. He said, no, baby, you know, you take what you need, whatever you need for the kids, take it out. He paid for my kids' activities, everything. So yeah, he gave me all his information.
Wow. And this was all before the first date. Was it all before the first?
This was during that
During
time.
the
It was in the
time.
first 30 days. We had
Yeah.
been on like 2 dates a
Yeah.
week apart.
Okay. And then on the first date, what happened there? What was that like?
Oh, that's funny. We were at the we went to the movies, and like I said, I had a paid babysitter, so I had to be back a certain time.
Right.
But I called my babysitter and say, could you please just let me finish the movie? Because I really like this guy. She was like, sure, Tanya, but she was like, don't you be fast, don't be fast, you know. It's the first date. It's the first date, even though I'm 40-some years old. But anyway, so he had already planned the second date. We were going to the state fair. He said, I already got the tickets. I said, how you know I was gonna say yeah? He said, I just knew. So we walked to the parking lot. So he said, he was, like I said, he was shy. So he said, Tanya, can I have a kiss? And all I know, we kissed. And he just kind of, bye, baby. And he drifted off in the parking lot. He was like walking like in a zigzag, like he was in a daze. After the kiss. It was 2 kisses. He said, I did kiss. Yeah. And then went back in for a second kiss. So then he kind of just drifted back to his car. And I went home, and my girlfriend's babysitting the kids. I was like, oh my God, I think I really like him. She's like, don't you go too fast. You know, you divorced and you better research this guy. I said, I know. So, you know, but that night, I don't think we talked that night because I was dealing with the kids. But then we talked again the next day.
So from your side, Quinn, were you in a daze after the kiss?
Yeah, I was. Kids did something. I went home and had a good night that night.
He wanted me to call him that night, but I didn't because I was trying to get the kids. Yeah, I had to get the kids settled. But when we met, the kids were 4. They were 4. I have twins. They were 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were young. Yeah, they were young.
Okay.
Until months later.
Right.
Months later.
Okay.
Yeah, and we definitely that was like one of the best times too, because we kind of snuck around the date, like we were in high school. Because I didn't want the kids to know. Again, you know, that's being safe, you know, and still making sure this was going to be something long term because of what we gone through with their dad. So we would sneak around. So, okay, the kids in the bed. Close the door. Come on, see me. So we'll go run into the living room. So yeah, we will go out on dates, and I'll tell the kids things like, you know, mommy has a meeting, things like that. So yeah, that was like a fun time because we were sneaking.
So going back to the first date, was it love at first sight for either of you? Quinn, was it love at first sight for you?
It was love at first sight for me on Tinder, as I said at the beginning of the interview.
From the
Before I ever
picture.
even saw her in person or heard her voice, it was love for me. But yeah, when I first saw her walking up, I said, man, I really hope this chick is into me. and we hugged each
Yeah,
other.
we were both attracted
Felt
to each
very
other.
good.
Yeah.
Looked into her eyes, and
Yeah.
I knew
Good.
Yeah.
it was all good.
Yeah. And I was looking cute that day. And he asked me before the day, he said, Tanya, well, one of the first things when you see me and walk up to the movies, will you give me a hug? I said, sure. So when I walked up to the movies, I was walking, had some heels on. Really, I don't walk in heels, but I had heels on that day. And walked into the door and I hugged him. And that was it. That was it.
Aww.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm very affectionate.
Very affectionate.
I'm the more affectionate
Yeah.
relationship.
He is. Yeah, he's physical touch with his love language, and I'm acts of service. So
Okay.
we have to take that. We have to really work on that too. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Was it love at first sight for you, Tanya?
I think it was. I wouldn't say at first sight because I really had a lot, I don't want to say baggage, but a lot of
Right.
healing still to do.
Okay.
Especially my kids being young. I'm going through a divorce. I was married for 17 years previously, so I had still a lot that I want to work on. Even though I had gone through some of the healing process, still through counseling and that sort of thing, it was still some work that I knew I wanted to do. So I was very afraid. But once I
Okay.
kind of went through that, let my guard down, I definitely fell in love. Yeah.
Very good. So how long did you make it official after the first date?
He's better with dates.
But then that 30 days when I gave that information to her. So
Yeah.
at the end of October, we were a couple.
Mhm.
We've been
Okay.
a couple for 9 years
Right.
and been married for 4 years, all in
Yeah.
October. This is our month.
Yeah, October. Yeah, he definitely, when we were talking on the phone, he said, I do want to ask you something when we see each other again during that October month. And I was like, what you want to ask me? I want you to be my girlfriend. I'm like, you don't have girlfriends at 40. That's one thing. He's very
Okay.
traditional. So he wanted to ask me face to face. So we were at IHOP and he asked me
Mhm.
at IHOP, would I be his girlfriend? I said, yeah.
Okay. And then was that like the second date, or was it, what date number was that when you guys were at IHOP?
This was like date maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5. What
Okay.
we would do, and I don't want your listeners to think we're bad people, but we would go to church. We would go to church together. Already we were going to church together. So the kids wouldn't see him. I would take the kids to their class, their Sunday school class, and while they were in Sunday school, we would sneak across the street to IHOP and have a date at IHOP, and then he would go home. And I would go back to church to pick the kids up from their Sunday school class. And so the kids never still knew at that point. So we would have dates on Sunday. So we would do the Sunday service, but the kids were in a separate part of the church because they were younger in children's
Okay.
church. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you guys were going to the same church that early, or he was going to church with
We
you that early?
started. Yeah, we started. Me and the kids were going, and he started attending with us.
Nice. Okay. And then, so he asked you to be his girlfriend. And then how soon after that did you get engaged and then married?
We got
Well-
engaged 4 years later.
Right.
They got married a year after the engagement.
Right. Yeah, we would definitely we wanted to Quinn was caring for his mom at the time, full time with dementia. So we definitely put his mom and the kids first before we thought about ourselves. So we continued that, even though we knew this would be long term, waiting on some things to put them first.
Okay. So you guys got married 5 years after you met on the dating app?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But you were dating the whole time. It just,
Yes.
Okay.
And dating for us looked different because we had to get a sitter for his mom. We had to get a sitter for the kids. So dating for us was very, very different. It would take months of planning for us to go on one date.
Even trip.
Yeah. It would take months of planning because once we got the nurse set up for his mom, then we would have to make sure our babysitter was legit, and could keep him for overnight. Which was sometimes we use family. Sometimes, family isn't reliable, but it would take let's say we were going one night to the beach for, let's say, $100 at a hotel. It would cost us $1,000 by the time we pay a nurse, pay the babysitter, pay food, it would cost us money. So we had to really plan out and be organized with dating. We really did. And once we got there, it was like, oh, thank God. We made it. Made it. Yeah.
But another thing that really, she knew how important my mother was to me. I lost her 2 months ago today, August 5th. But she knew how important she was to me. And that was important to me. She put that right at the top.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about your mom. So
Thanks.
just
Thank you.
months ago. Okay. All
She
right.
lived a healthy life, 87 years. She wasn't in any pain or on any medication, died peacefully in her sleep. So I'm
Good.
at peace.
He was a
Good.
good son to her.
I'm the
Good.
only
No
child.
regrets.
Only
Yeah, only
child.
child.
Oh, wow. He was the only child. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's spoiled. He's right.
So did your mom live with you guys?
Yeah, she lived with me.
We had two separate houses for a while.
For 2 years before we got married, we lived separately because my mother went down, so we just had all the medical equipment and ramps put at her house. But before then, she stayed over here in this house that we live in now. But for 2 years before we got married, we lived separately, and that was a strain, but we did what we had to do. And when we put her in 24-hour total care, then I was finally able to move in with my wife and kids.
Okay. Then now that you've been married, what do you like about Tonya? Quinn, what do you like about Tonya?
I love her drive, love her compassion, her witness. She's very witty. Just keeps me laughing. Yeah, just her generosity and just her loving persona. She's genuine, timid. We're polar opposites.
Oh God, yeah.
That's what attracted us.
Okay.
We're nothing alike, but we love each other.
Good. Give an example of what are opposites. Like what is she and what are you like?
She likes flowers, rainbows.
Everything.
I love
Everything.
horror. I'm a big horror fan. I'm a
Okay.
little bit more darker, urban. Yeah.
He used to say bad words. Now he does.
Good. Okay. All right. And then what do you like about him, Tanya? What do you like about Quinn?
Quinn says that he's darker or whatever. Quinn's really a gentle giant. He's just putting on a show. He's putting on a show. And I could see through that really fast. Just try to like tough guy. He's really not. He's gentle. He's gentle. But I like his gentleness. And I think I knew when I saw how he worked with his mom. I mean, loved his mom. I never seen anything like that before. Where he sacrificed everything to make sure she was okay, took care of her. We knew that we had to make some decisions later on down the road, but when I saw his love and care, that's why now that she's gone, we have no regrets because we did all we could, took care of her the best that we could. Best medical care, everything that we could have done. But I saw his gentleness, his true heart, and even when he's what we call grumpy and grouchy, I know how to. I see that's not really him. That's not really him. He's really a gentle person, and you can see that also working with his. We call them consumers, the mental patients. They love him. They actually, some of them actually came to the house. I was terrified when his mom passed, and they was like, "What Cunningham? What Cunningham? We love Cunningham." They love him because he's so good with the disabled adults. So I see that side of him. He's caring, and he did not have to take on the role of stepfather like he has. He's a wonderful stepfather. We in some trying times raising teenagers. They're 15. It's hard. It's hard, but he's here. He'd say, "I'm never leaving. I'm here for the long haul." Whatever we have to go through, if we have to take telephones or he's teaching them how to drive now. He's just a good person. So I love him for being gentle.
Nice. I love that. Those are all really strong qualities.
Another thing I told her when I first met her is, if I can't help you, then you don't need me around.
Right.
You don't need dead weight. That's what you have for 17, 18 years. I'm here for the long haul. I'm not dead weight.
Good.
I come in working 2 full-time jobs with no kids of my own. So all my love is to you and the kids. I'm going to be here for y'all. I'm going to do for y'all. I didn't have a father growing up, so this is something new to me. My father was murdered when I was very young. That's why I was very close to my mom. Yeah, I'm going to be here for her and the kids.
And
Good.
He is.
Okay, good. So what advice do you have for people looking for love online so they can find what you guys have?
Wow. I think first of all, you have to be discerning. You do have to be discerning and pray about it. There are some people online that I did meet by swiping, that were not good people. So I say be discerning. And like we said earlier, you have to do your research. You have to do your research, especially if you have kids. Especially if you are successful. It could be someone just wants money. So you have to definitely do your research, be discerning. You know, I can't say don't fall in love, but before you take that leap, always do your research. And you also have friends around you that are discerning people, that are people of Christ. Also let your friends meet the person that you're dating. And they can tell usually right away. I'm talking like true friends, not friends that are haters, but true friends. They can also tell, I don't know about that one, or oh, that's a keeper. I met all of his friends early on.
I promised her that she
Okay.
would not be a secret. She would not be in the dark.
Right.
Everyone would know who she was. There would be no surprise attacks. We would never be out somewhere and somebody say, "Oh, I didn't know you had a girlfriend," or "Who is she?"
Right.
No,
Right.
she was as my girlfriend at the time, and now my wife. I want everybody to know that. I'm proud of her. I love her.
Yes, definitely. We definitely both did the same thing.
It never comes off.
Never
unless-
comes out.
unless
Yeah,
I'm
I
paying.
checked the print.
Good.
I checked the print.
Only if I'm changed to one of the other two.
Right. Yeah, but definitely do your research. Also meet the person's friends, social circle, their parents. Look at how the person cares for their parents. Let your friends meet, because every person I have met, every person, even on his job, Quinn's a good guy, Quinn's a good guy, Quinn's a good guy. His
Good.
mom, my mom likes him more than me. More than me. She don't even talk to me. Say, where's Quinn? I'm like, I'm kind of getting like you like him or something. That you want to date him. Yeah, she don't even want to talk to me anymore. She talks to him first. So I would definitely say be discerning, let your friends meet, do your research. That would be my main
Good.
advice.
My
Okay.
advice would be know exactly what you want. Don't play with people's hearts and emotions. If you're there just to have a good time, let the people you're meeting know that up front. And if you're looking for a strong commitment and the long haul, let that be known up front. But just be
Yeah.
transparent in what you want, and also be cautious. But again, if you're just there for a good time, let that be known. So nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets, just keep it 100 with people.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. And when all your friends met Tonya, did they all like her? Did they confirm?
They all liked her. They all fell in
Okay.
love with Tonya, and they were so happy for me because they know what I went through, and they constantly still tell us that to this day.
All the
So
time.
yeah, they were all happy. A few of them weren't, and
They weren't true
they
friends,
rented
though.
themselves out.
Right. True friends.
And that was with
Okay.
we both lost
Yeah.
so-called friends after we
Right.
got together, but they weren't ever true friends to
Right.
not be happy for us as one.
Yeah, that's something to note too. You'll know your true friends through the process, because when I was sad and depressed and everything, everybody was around. Same with Quinn. But as soon as you're happy, and are you sure he's who he is? And
He's
always why you keep so he's what they call hand pet or whatever. So those people kind of we saw a jealous spirit coming out of some people that weren't our true friends, and they really kind of stopped talking to us. Yeah, that jealous spirit it showed. So those people don't deal with us anymore, but we're okay with that because they weren't true friends.
Good. And what about Steve, who pushed you along? Did he like Tonya?
We should have put Steve on.
Hey,
Steve
I'm gonna tell you about this interview.
Right.
Good guy. No kids.
Right.
Been married. Ex-military.
Yeah.
Been at the job same as me. I got him the job there. We've been there 20 years.
Right.
Got his own place. Good.
He's a
guy.
good guy, but he's just not ready to settle down. I mean, he's probably on 5 sites. He probably on 5. He gets a date every weekend. He gets date. He's an attractive guy.
Yeah.
He loves to go out with women, but that's it. He stops it. Yeah.
Okay. And he liked Tonya?
Yeah, he did.
He did. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What marriage advice do you have? What marriage advice?
You talking to me or
Both of us?
just embrace
What's
it.
good for
Love
embrace
your
it?
spouse. Be true to your spouse, to yourself.
Okay.
Be transparent. Be open to discussion. Be open to change. Be open to compromise. And that's something that I had to come to grips with was change. Being an only child, she said, maybe I was kind of spoiled.
Kind of.
Things maybe just go my way a lot, but I had to learn it's not about Quinn all the time. You have to put other people's feelings in front of yours. You have to make a sacrifice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One post I saw on Instagram said you have to die of yourself. So you really have to die
Mm-hmm.
of yourself and think it's all about you, and start considering your spouse.
Right. Well, you kind of were giving your,
Yeah.
but what, but do you have any more?
Um, Pretty much the same as Quinn said. We do keep an open line of communication. Even the tough conversations, they're hard sometimes, but we know we have to have those in order to be successful. One thing that we do now, we pray together. We're very intentional on our prayers. Instead of just praying and saying our grace, we're very intentional on those things that we want to pray about and work on and for. So that's one thing that's also helped our marriage. Very intentional
Good.
prayer daily
And
together.
we did marriage premarital counseling
We did.
before the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and we still do it now throughout the marriage. That's something we
Right.
always going to continue to do,
Right.
just to
Okay.
keep it so strong and healthy,
Right.
keep the foundation solid. We don't have a problem with that. Some people may, but
Yeah,
we
we don't
don't.
care. Yeah, we don't care what they say.
It strengthens
Right.
ours.
Some people think that counseling is just for when you're having trouble, but it's not. It's for
It's
Okay.
avoiding trouble,
it's
so you
avoiding
don't have
trouble.
trouble.
Right.
And it teaches
Right.
you trouble comes about, gives you avenues how to
Right.
rectify trouble.
Right.
Good. How often do you go to counseling?
We go twice a month.
Twice a month. Okay.
Mhm. And
Okay.
we like face-to-face counseling. We don't, unlike online day, we don't like virtual counseling. We like going into the office and actually talking to our counselor because it's more personable. It's more personable. But we go twice a month. Mhm.
Nice. Okay.
And
And
we've
then,
had family sessions too.
Yeah, we've had family
oh, okay.
therapy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have. Teenagers
Okay.
are hard. They are hard.
Okay. I haven't experienced that yet, so that's coming for me.
How old? What age?
The oldest is 10. The oldest is
Okay.
10. So
We hate to tell you, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming. Yeah, 10 was a good age. That was good. Yeah, 10 was a good age.
Great age.
Yeah. It didn't start happening to about 13, 14. Yeah.
Mhm.
Count down now to empty nesters.
College.
Okay. So then what do you like most about being married?
I think it's just from my perspective, just having a best friend, an instant best
Mm-hmm.
friend. We talk about any and everything. Like I say, even the tough conversations. So we both come home every day. Guess what happened at work? Guess what happened? It's like we gossip. We gossip.
Pillow talk.
Yeah, we pillow talk. So I think that's the best thing, having an in-home best friend.
Okay, good. What about for you, Quinn? What's your favorite part about being married?
Just having a solid companion, somebody you can trust, somebody you can hold. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Just having somebody you can rely on, somebody's eyes you can just look into and tell whatever you need to tell, and know there's two listening ears right with those eyes that's going to conceive it all and take it in and help you get it through. And just knowing somebody's there is true, you can let your guard down, got your back. You don't have to worry. You can say and do whatever. Not say and do whatever, but you can feel free enough to say and express yourself.
Good.
Yeah, it's just a great feeling. I love it here, and I'm never leaving here until I'm called away from here.
I love it.
We love. So we have like this. Maybe we should tell about that. This matchmaking service we run, like we call it ghetto matchmaking service. Just like if he has a friend, I have a friend that they're single, we'll try to matchmake. Now it goes left sometimes, it goes really bad sometimes, but we do try. We try hard.
That's all we can
That's
do.
all we do is try. Some people, sometimes we try to hook Steve up several times. He just won't do right. But we do have a successful couple that we recently matchmade, and they're doing really well. She's going to be getting a ring soon. She is. So
Oh.
we just love love. We love love.
Thanks so much for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe for more real life love stories from couples who met on dating apps. And if you're ready to find your own person, I've linked some free resources below to help you get started. See you in the next video.